And our newest sponsor, Stream Supply Co. Got all your streaming needs, everything you can think of from keyboards, headsets, microphones, monitors, mice, and webcams, and more. Make sure you go check them out. When you use at checkout code GROCK, GROCK, you will get 5% off any purchase. So, link is in the description, and so is that code.
What's up, everybody? I must tell you, am truly humbled. Um, I was looking yesterday when this was, you know, or today, I should say, when this was recorded. Uh, I did look back, see that I hit 600 subscribers, and I definitely want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's the support that's been shown. I all I can say is thank you. So, I guess the next thing we do, we're going to go ahead and pop off with another 10 things video. That's right. So let's go ahead and get the ball rolling here. We're going to look at 10 legendary items that won't break your game. Now, I've kind of peeked at this list. I don't 100% agree with it, but we're going to go through it anyway. So, and I'll give you my thoughts as we go through. So, number one, the free chain suit. Now this is really cool. It basically gives you the on par with like enchanted plate, gives you a +3 to your AC. Gives you fire resistance, common elemental damage types in the game, and you can speak primordial with it. Now I could see this if you're doing something in like a fire wastes, uh, even to the point of if you um, are in somewhere where the volcanoes, stuff like that, because you can walk on molten rock, which would be lava. um, so that I could see definitely going through with this and pulling this into your game. uh, this would be great for a thief type, even a cleric, maybe even a ranger. I mean, stuff like that. Multiple classes could benefit from this in your game. And as the DM side, I would say this is a mid level tier type item. So once you hit, maybe 8 to 14 in that kind of mid tier, that's where I would look at this coming in, because that's really where you start getting your money for your like enchanted, really heavily enchanted things. So this one, I will say yes, this is a non-game breaker, but it would set to add more flavor in your game of where you are, where a setting where this would definitely work. So the rod of lordly might. Now this one is kind of cool. It's kind of, I've seen this one, in several different iterations of D&D, even in 3035 Pathfinder. Definitely a usable item. It's a magical mace +3, and it has 6 buttons, so it can go blade, battering ram. The compass was always kind of like, uh, I mean, it was good for if you're not sure which way is in the dark type deal, when you have no way to navigate. That would come in handy. But the three extra abilities, uh, drain life from foes, paralyze and terrify uh, foes once a day. Those are kind of like your oh my god, oh crap buttons. And that's what those would be used for. It's like, oh, you're a troll, paralyze, run, or they get over kind of overrun type deal. Uh, or you paralyze someone in a doorway so you can get out and people can't really get around them. Even throw the terrifier to those behind them and make them all run away. So I mean, it has some uses. I could see this being a oh crap, let's get out of here. This one is kind of, I would put it more in the mid-level tier also, which is a sort of answering. So that is, originally came from Greyhawk. So uh, +3 attack and damage rolls, uh, which is fairly standard with your legendary weapons there. Also, this is the one where kind of like this would make sense for a maybe once a day. This needs just a little bit of nerfing just for to make it work better. I guess my DM mind is coming here. Even if you could do it like 3 times a day, that would be fine. But this is actually comes as a reaction, which really came to light in Pathfinder. Uh, of the reaction of, oh well, I'm holding my action until this happens. That's where I could see this really coming in. The only thing is that the special attack, I mean, you only get one attack with it even at mid-level, but ignores any immunities or resistances the enemy might have. So if they have, even if they have, slash animantine, this is going to ignore that. That's one of those the where once maybe twice a day, maybe even 3 times, I could get behind that, but at will, that needs to be drawn back just a hair. Now this may be built for the fifth ed, which fifth ed, as you may or may not know, I don't play. I've played it a handful of times. It was okay. But it was okay because of the person who was running the game. And he started out in 3.5, 3.0. So he kind of had threw a little bit of more of that feeling in there. So that's one thing that I that made the game enjoyable for me. But I've tried it since with other DMs, not so much. So Ring of Elemental Command. This one's I'm kind of on the fence on also. Uh, different forms, fire, air, earth, water. And I'm going to apologize to those 90s kids out there. There's no heart. Sorry. No elemental command of heart. And those that are 90s kids will definitely understand that one. I'll probably get comments down below from that, but that's okay. Uh, the base, advantage. So this is built more for the fifth ed. Uh, against rolls against elements of that plane, and then they have a disadvantage in return. So it's kind of like essentially it would be if you wanted to use this in a 3035 Pathfinder first ed type game, you'd be looking more at, like a +2 or minus +2 on the attack, -2 on incoming, kind of one of those deals. Um, Each form features a specific spell and can be used by expending charges. Now, see, that I'm fine with. Expending charges, that's fine because once those charges are gone, they're gone. Uh, but the best part is where when the wearers help slay an elemental while wearing it, it grants them some bonuses and extra spells. So I would actually, instead of bonus or extra spells, I would just say that it will replenish 1 or 2 charges on it. That's a tweak that I would make. You know, the now this one has had many different iterations. In this one's built for fifth ed because, like I said, I have read through this already, and this is the belt of giant strength, but here it's storm giant strength. So basically, if who ties the belt around their waist will receive a huge boost, increasing their strength to 29. Now, I would say this would be a late game item. This is not something you're going to give even to your mid-level folks. This is going to be a late game item. And because if you're looking at that 29 strength, that is ungodly, or that's damn near godly uh, for a normal adventurer. Now, in 3035 Pathfinder first, it was a belt of giant strength. You had the +4 and I think +6 variety, or may have been +8. I don't remember off the top of my head. But theoretically, by the time you got to that point, you were already, at a prerequisite, already at that 15th level plus, where by the time you had the money or were able to craft it yourself, things along those lines. Um, the only thing is that it will not help them with anything with non-physical challenges. So it's kind of one of those. It does balance itself out. Yeah, they're going to hit harder. Yeah, they're going to do more damage, but still. This one is one of my favorites. Has been around for a very long time, and for my '80s kids out there, we saw this originally in the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. If you've not seen that, you can find clips of it on YouTube. I know. So this is amazing. So that of course they want to use Harry Potter, but this is something that your thief or ranger type would use to kind of sneak around. Basically, you flip it up. You and all your stuff go invisible. Flip the hood down, cancels the effect. The only thing you have to remember though with this is that if, let's say, you're a fighter in full plate wearing this cloak of invisibility, yes, they will not be able to see you, but they will be able to hear you. So this is nothing for your stealth. This is all about the perception. This basically makes you invisible. Now, this is another one that when I was reading this earlier, that I was like, this one needs to be neutered hard because I'm sorry, this one does change the game. So it's the crystal ball of telepathy. Now, the changes I would make is you can communicate telepathically with any creature within 30 feet of the sensor. I would change that to any ally because this would be something, and what I've seen things like this do before is, basically the person directing the fight will tell them telepathically, this is, basically your battlefield general, which typically, I've seen it even be the bard. I've seen it be, the wizard. I've seen it be, the fighter, your sword and board main tank. Now this is the part that where it gets me. It says 30 feet, but and then it says controlled someone over actions over vast distances. 30 feet is like a halfway across the room in most times, or really not that far, maybe a room away. You know, but using the suggestion spell, that basically this entire thing I would just drop. This has probably been tweaked for 5th ed. Once again, uh, now you know we're gonna move on. Now we're gonna go on to the harp. This one again is going to be a late game. This is going to be level 15, uh, because this ability to cast several spells, flying, invisibility, but also has more powerful spells. The bard attuned to this item can cast confusion, control weather, and firestorm once per day. These are once again kind of your oh crap things. This is, oh, we need to get out of here. Okay, control weather, fog, confusion, firestorm. Be able to pull the people back. Maybe they need healing. Maybe they need, maybe they're just going to run. this is a good thing to, I would say this along with that rod before, those would be the two best things in order to kind of pull that back. This one's actually kind of cool. I've never heard of this one before. This one would be amazing. I would love this one in a game. With this, it's essentially a tank and a submarine kind of rolled into one type thing. So if you've kind of got like a little steampunky type thing going on, this would definitely work. So it features ability to travel on land and in liquid to depth of 900 feet. So if you've got some steampunky technology going on, you can definitely pull this in. Inside, the pilot must manage to set levers that control the vehicle, which can make for that could be just fun on the DM's part, them trying to learn how to control it, and that could be your little hilarity for the night. Last but not least, this one, once again, I would say this is a mid-game item because a low level, this is too much. So essentially, the Ion Stone of Greater Absorption uh, will hover a bed and absorb spells up to 8th level using a reaction. So once again, this is more falling more back on your Pathfinder where it says, okay, if they cast a spell at me, this is what I'm doing. I know this is probably built for 5th ed. I do understand that, but I'm I'm backing it up a little bit for those who maybe aren't too in tune with 5th ed. Uh, but once the storm has absorbed 50 levels worth of spells, falls to the ground. So this would be, like I said, I would say something within. Uh, I would actually go 10 to 16, 10 to 18. This is where this one would fall in, kind of that, or even 11 to 8, 11 to 17, even is where this would definitely fall into your game as a DM. Uh, because anything lower than that, if you think about it, because spell levels, if you give it to a first level, that's a lot of spells. That's a lot of spells. So, and this doesn't necessarily have to be on that. This could be something on the bard to help protect the bard. Magic missile. Oh, it didn't. It hit, but it went into the stone. Sorry, your first level spell went away. Bye bye. Uh, so yeah, that is going to be all for this 10 things. Definitely want to thank everyone again for all the support with the subscribing. Uh, by the way, you'll see here, I do have my gaming channel. I'm going to be probably in the next few weeks start putting out content on that. So make sure you do actually get on over there, and you'll see some of my actual computer gaming, and actually gaming that's not tabletop. Uh, that's where that content will be. I have a few things up for those of you that have been watching it and you notice that I dropped off. All my saves on my Minecraft got completely corrupted, and it was kind of one of those things. I just kind of threw my hands up and went on. So I hope to get back in on that. So everybody, I do hope you have a great night, and I will see you next time.